Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm doing a long overdue State of the Union for Bodica. I'm driving back to Charleston today, Saturday. What is the day? 27th, 26th? I don't know. Whatever it is. So things are going good. We've got budget. I think first order of business, budget. We do have budget in place to get through the rest of 2019. However, we do need to put the rest of our budget in place for 2020 and really got to double down, triple down our efforts of raising capital, because there is no, although we have a path to revenue now, and there are some revenue activities taking place. It's gonna, just all reality. It will be all that we can do as a team to get to a revenue neutral position by the end of 2020. And we can lay that case out a little bit better, like in a proper pro forma. I'm actually going to try to get up with Nick soon to really do that, as we also continue to refine our pitch deck, which is also more or less our business plan and our roadmap. Okay, so that being said, we're about 80% there with the guys in North Carolina, the High Country Venture Capital Fund. I've shared my credit report with them, as well as my general banking account balances, and that which are good, and so that certainly helped. I'm absolutely fine with sharing that information with any other potential investors too. Gosh, this angle really makes me look fat. I swear I've been working out. It's not a very flattering angle, so forgive me. But anyway, so that's there. I've still got a few other little potential people. If anyone else in the group wants to invest some more, that'd be helpful. I myself have pretty much tapped out all I can do. Just so everybody knows, I've been definitely struggling. It's not good for my psyche, I can tell you that, but I will continue to do it. I just hopefully I don't have to do it so much more, because I've done a lot, and I've done all I can practically do, and so that, and which is fine. I've done it, by the way, everything else I've done as a no interest loan situation as well. I have not gained any more equity out of what I've done, nor am I going to try to do that, so that we can maintain our equity structure, and more importantly, as we potentially bring on some more investors and partners, that there's still that equity that's there to help with that. Okay, so that being said, everybody needs to still push to try to bring in some investment. To recap that, our minimum budget for 2020 is essentially $500,000. Okay, that's roughly $40,000 a month, which covers myself and Lisa, and allows us to hire a very needed third person as an account manager for properly onboarding people and dealing with just a lot of just daily task types of things, so that me and Lisa can work on the higher level stuff, where I can more work on sales, Lisa can more work on truly chief operating officer sort of needs, as well as branding in general. So that allows for that. It also allows for our development budget, and it allows for a modest marketing budget, roughly $42,000 a month. So to fill that, what we are currently asking and offering as an investment opportunity to people is a convertible note structure. Okay? So believe me, if you don't understand what convertible notes are, it took me a while to really get the concept, but anyone that you talk to from a startup investment situation, you will invariably see that a lot of real investors that really have invested in things like this before prefer the convertible note structure. It's just a lot easier from a legal perspective. It's just better all the way around. We're doing two different valuations on this convertible note structure. Okay, the first $250,000 that we want to fill, we're going to do it at a valuation of $2.5 million, valuing the company at $2.5 million. Okay, once we fill that, now keep in mind, invariably as we fill that, time of course will progress in a linear fashion, and that will give us the capital to develop more API connections, develop more features. We will gain more properties, more revenue will occur, more branding will happen, and that will naturally increase the valuation of the company. So that once we have filled that $250,000, and of course the linear progression of time and objectives being accomplished, we will then raise another $250,000, but we will up the valuation of the company to $5 million, which will be very practical at that moment in time. Okay, so that is where that's at. If you, Lisa has recently redone a version of the deck. Todd has added some more to it. I'm about to add some more pro forma type projections and a little bit more clarity on the actual budget for 2020 that also will have some benchmarking and road mapping type of targets on there too. So that new version of that deck will be coming shortly. That will also, by its very nature, serve as a more tactile, if that's the right phrase, update for the company and where we're at, where we stand, where we're going, right? So, a couple of just what have we been up to recently? Well, essentially in the vacation rental industry, September kicks off the trade show circuit. Okay, so we were in Scottsdale for the Streamline Summit, roughly in the later part of September. Now, of course, as Rob and Todd both know, we ended our summer season on Folly Beach, and then of course a freaking hurricane, and I can just tell you, we've all been stressed out on Folly Beach. I myself, my own house got messed up still to this day. Just now getting put back together. I have lost a ton of rental income. Don't even get me started. I don't even want to go down a negative thought process here, because it's all good, okay? But the struggle is real, let me just tell you. So on top of that, now this is all self-inflicted, don't get me wrong. I drove out to Scottsdale so that I could carry the trade show materials, the wall and the booth stuff or whatever. Now, plus, hey, listen, it's not all, especially with me, I know how to have a good time. Don't worry about me. I did some camping. I also stopped at Kigo headquarters in Dallas, which was very vital. Get into that in a second. So we did Streamline. Then I went to Vegas and did one day at Res Fest, which is essentially HomeAway and VRBO's own summit. Then I went to, where did I go from there? Gosh, I went back to Kigo in Dallas and spent a week there. Lisa came out to RealPage headquarters. RealPage, the bigger company that owns Kigo. Lisa came out, which was very good to see and really see the RealPage people. We got to make a lot better presence. We got to negotiate a better deal with Kigo. Also, in between that, I did spend time at Streamline headquarters in Phoenix and got to negotiate a better deal with them as well. From there, I came back to Charleston briefly and then turned right back around and went to New Orleans where the VRMA conference was going on. Had some deeper meetings with Kigo and RealPage people. Also had some solidified our new relationship with the distribution partners, how I'm going to look at it, a marketing partner, let's say with rentals with a Z.com with Larry. Also, really the proper name of his company is Resortia, and he's got a bunch of different brands. So sort of similar to the Find Rentals thing, we're syndicating some properties over. We're actually going to use, it's not costing us anything, so that's cool. He absolutely does drive real traffic, and we've got a 40% revenue share to start. Of course, we'll try to make that better over time, but it ain't too shabby to start with. And hey, if something's about to click, okay, we are at a point where some things are about to start to click, and we will start growing revenue, right? Now that revenue's not, to be revenue neutral with this, thinking about what I just said about a roughly $42,000 a month budget. Hey, listen, you can do the math, right? Keep in mind, what is our current monetization strategy? It's essentially 5% of nightly rental rate to the property manager, right? Now, we can talk about other type of profit verticals and all that, and that's great, but fundamentally, that's our main revenue source. And you know what? Roughly, let's just say that the average rental is about $800 and something. So let's just say that roughly that's $42 a booking that we make. We actually drove a booking to Hawaii a couple days ago, and we made right at $42 on that, so it's pretty accurate. So let's just say that $42 is going to be roughly our average commission. Well, that's pretty simple bar napkin math right there. We need to drive 1,000 bookings a month at $42 to get to revenue neutral. Okay, that's going to take a lot of work. Now, I think people like Larry and rentalswithaz.com, he does really innovative drip email marketing. Let's see. We'll see. We got to drive our own bookings into our own brands as well, which we will endeavor to do. So anyway, that's kind of like what I've been up to so far. Lisa and myself are going to London next week. We're also bringing Paige as well. Paige is, officially now a brand ambassador for us. Paige worked the trade show with us at Streamline. She did very well. Jared Huffman was at Streamline as well. Of course, he did excellent. So Paige is now coming into the fold. Tommy Geeling is going to also be attending the conference. He's based out of Finland. He was there for us at the Kigo World Conference earlier this year in Barcelona. And, he's a good asset. He is going to be, it was very fortuitous. He is already was going to be in London anyway. So he's going to be there representing the brand as well. So we will be walking around in London with 4 of us there representing the brand at the host conference, which arguably looks like it's going to be the biggest conference of the year, over 4,000 attendees. And they actually invited me to come speak there because they saw my presentation in Barcelona, and the main organizer of this event invited me to come speak. So that's pretty cool. Good accolades for us, and I think it's also a good sign, right? That I think we're on the right path and we got something. I've already lined up lots of meetings, and that's great. After that, the next week, there's one final event that I'm going to go to this year, and then I am gotta take a break. Jesus Christ. And that's going to be, it's called the Short Stay Show, and it's a one-day event that's in Barcelona. So me and Paige are going to go to that and take a couple of days, a little vacation time or whatever. She's never been to Spain, so cool. I'm going to show her some of the cool stuff in Spain and just take a weekend, maybe go see Dolly's house again or something like that up in Cadaqués. So anyway, good times. So that's the agenda. From there, we're going to be starting our Rentals United integration. We'll pick our next channel partner that we're going to integrate with after that. Maybe it's going to be Direct.io. Maybe it's going to be, who knows? We'll see. There's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. We might do Track next. It just depends. We've forged a really good relationship with Steve Milo, who is arguably one of the absolutely in the top 10, if not the top 5 most important and connected people in the vacation rental industry, period. Like, a big deal for sure. He's a great guy. He's given us some good advice. He's going to put all of his properties on our platform once we've connected to a platform that he's connected with. He himself is in the middle of choosing a new platform, a new property management software, so to speak. And, he's going to put his properties on us as soon as it kind of even might be like whatever he settles on will be what we integrate with after Rentals United. Rentals United is going to open up about 120,000 unique listings for us as well, and we're going to be meeting with them next week, solidifying that agreement to make it good for us. When Steve turns on, that's going to be like 2,300 properties like that. I mean, like that. So that's going to be really nice. And he's very aggressive on pricing too, so the last minute .rentals product will be really, really good. And he's happy to pay the 5%. So we will certainly make some money off of that. So that's really, we've got a lot of good things going. Lisa's done an excellent job with some networking that she's done. Of course, on the branding side of things too, onboarding. Lisa's wearing a lot of the hats right now. So, it is what it is. So in summary, as an update, I don't know, we got like 8,000 listings live now. We got 4 or 5 people we're onboarding at the moment. We got about 30 more people to onboard once we get a little bit better process with Streamline. There's a little bit of a hiccup going on with Streamline at the moment, but I hopefully moved that forward. I finally redrafted our vendor partner agreement with them, as well as updating our whole terms of service, terms of use, that not only the guest gets, but also that the host, the property manager gets as well. That also includes our new revenue model, so that they practically have something that they now can agree to in the back end of the Streamline system, which will then create an automated ticket, which will then get us the API and blah, 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 blah. A better, real onboarding process in place that we can then duplicate with Kigo, which is the very next step, that we will then duplicate. By the time those two things sync up, we should have the raw development done with Rentals United, so that'll be then the third partner that we roll out this whole monetization, onboarding, and all that stuff with. So in a sense, we should have our process down pat, where then if we have the budget in place, we can hire somebody and not bring them into the chaos world that we exist in today, but we can bring them into a properly organized company that's got a very specific process for what their job description will be, and so that they can have the best opportunity to be a successful employee with the company. That should be able to happen first quarter of next year. We should be able to, if we stay on point, we should be able to finish the Rentals United integration, have that all up and going by the end of this year, so that we're going into 2020 day one with 3 integrations and with our digital fingers on well over 400,000 listings worldwide, okay? And then working on our 4th integration by that time. Steve Milo should have made his choice. Whatever that choice is who we're going to integrate with next, so that we can make sure we get his properties on board. And also, his endorsement carries a lot of weight, for sure, okay? It really does. You don't want to put too much value into one particular thing or overblow somebody's importance, and we're never going to rest on our laurels with just, oh, well, we got Steve Milo and now we're the shit, and nothing like that. We're never going to put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. But that being said, it's a hell of a good endorsement. Just believe me that it is. It basically gets us backdoor access to like so much stuff, and I have to give hats off to Lisa. Has absolutely done a great job, very professionally cultivating that relationship. So anyway, that's the rough roadmap. We go into Q1 2020, probably doing, if now we're going to hold their motherfucking feet to the fire with Kigo, but we'll probably be doing the Kigo World event again, which is going to be essentially mid-March, which kicks off the European trade show circuit. So it typically kicks off with essentially the VRMA of the EU in Prague every year. So if all goes well and we've raised the capital and we've got the mandate to do so, we're going to start off in Prague, then we'll do Barcelona for Kigo World. There's a whole VR week that has established itself now in Barcelona, and then we'll finish off. So we'll do like a month again in roughly the beginning of second quarter 2020. And for that, hopefully, Brianna could potentially attend. I'd like to get Beth Holson back. Also, hopefully Chris, if he can find the time to attend Kigo World as property managers, but also, of course, be there for us. Because like Rob and Todd were there at Streamline Summit. Now, they were there as My Ocean Rental, but of course, they're incognito. They're backing up a Boudica too, and it worked very well, right? It was nice. And I think I would argue to say that it was also good for Rob and Todd to attend the trade show as a property manager for the practical purposes of what the trade show's for in the first place, of expanding knowledge, networking, and all that good stuff. So anyway, all things going well. Things are going pretty well. They could be a whole lot better, just like the entire planet. Okay, and I could go on ad nauseum down that kind of thought process, but things are going good. We're doing well. We are growing. Of course, as it is with many things, our initial expectations 2 years ago that I laid out, I have a tendency to oversell things, and I constantly try to work on that. I'm definitely a big dreamer, and I will be the first person to admit that I certainly set some initial timelines that were not correct. So as we really try to refine what 2020 is going to look like, I'm very much trying to be pragmatic about it and conservative, and certainly would welcome and absolutely need the help of everyone in this group. One thing that I know for sure, and that I have always felt, and I think that you all have felt it too, is that with us as a group of people, if we can come up with a plan that we all contribute to and that we can all come to a consensus on, that I know that we'll be successful, because we're all, I think we all have our certain strengths that we can add to it. I think we're all at our very core ethical and mindful, and have a common vision and want to see this thing succeed. So I will conclude by saying, when you see this new deck, rip it to fucking shreds. That's fine. But when you do so, come back with solutions, right? And it's okay to rip it up. Just come back with like, hey, I'm ripping this up, but here's what I want to replace it with. We do this plan together and get to a consensus on our plan for 2020. And now, critical, we got to make the dollars hit the table, okay? Because Uncle Tom is bled out, just so everyone's understands, okay? Being very real when I say that. Like, I can only sustain so much more. And listen, I've put everything in my life on the line with this because I absolutely believe that it's worth it and that it's going to happen, and I know a lot of you have too. Can take that conviction as we conclude the rest of this year, okay? And let's fill this budget. Let's raise this money. Let's get it done. Let's do it proudly when we're talking to people, right? We're not begging for money. We're presenting an opportunity to people, okay? They should take advantage of it because it's a good opportunity for real. Okay, so enough said. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for having patience with me. And have a wonderful day.